Salam Media and One Nation FM.
All right, let's get an update as we wrap up the show with regard to Mufti Menk. Now, we all know about that iftar dinner that he had in the United Arab Emirates, and he was seated next to this not just a rabbi, but particularly understand this rabbi who has been a major player in creating a level of acceptance of Israel within UAE politics, and therefore the high degree of angst and anger around the rabbi, and in terms of what was seen as Mufti Menk effectively, opening up spaces for him and therefore their cause in terms of normalizing relations, which are fast happening in the Middle East between Israel and many other countries, as we know, right? So I had a chat. So two things. I had a chat with Tembisa Fakuri a few days ago, as you may remember, and at that stage, initially, Mufti Menk had set out a video. But didn't actually create an apology within that video. He just said a few things about that this whole thing has been blown out of proportion, and he spoke about Al Jazeera and in the media, etc. So myself and Tembisa Fakuri spoke about it, and this is what we had to say on that issue. I would never betray my Palestinian brothers and sisters. I stand in solidarity with them and all other oppressed people. I am not an activist, but I'm a Muslim. That's the one part of it. And this is the important part. If my Palestinian brothers and sisters or anyone else feels betrayed by me having unintentionally met a man at the generic open iftar, whom I later discovered to be at the center of much controversy, I apologize unconditionally. I pray they can see the good we do and forgive the mistakes we have made, right? And then he finally says, I will definitely be much more careful in future with all functions, engagements, and photos. Now that's in text form, which I have with me from him, but it's not in video form. Is that what you were looking for?
Well, that's what he should have done in the first place. But again, I blame people around him. He needs to understand that he's reached a certain position in terms of political Islam and who he is. You can't just pitch in invitations without asking who's who where, who's going to be sitting next to me and whatever. And for him not to mention the name of the rabbi, it's a bit problematic as well, because he knows the name of the rabbi. And the best he would have done, if he wants to demonstrate sincerity, name the man. Don't say I was sitting next to a Jewish man. Just say who he was and how this happened, and he wasn't told. That's one. But the other thing is, again, it shows a level of naivety, particularly when it comes to matters of the UAE, Mohammed bin Zayed, and the normalization process.
Okay, so that was what was said in the conversation I had with Tembisa Fakuri a few days ago. Okay, subsequently, Mufti Menk now has issued another statement via a video, which is a lot more stronger in his acknowledgement and his apology. Watch this.
Like I say, if anyone feels betrayed, and to my brothers and sisters in Palestine, and my brothers and sisters in Kashmir, my brothers and sisters in Afghanistan, and anyway, if I have ever said anything or done anything that makes you feel or made you feel, or anyone else for that matter, betrayed, trust me, I apologize unconditionally. And I want to tell you something. We stand with all the good causes on earth, the oppressed, no matter where they are. Like I said, I may not be an activist, but I'm a Muslim at the end of the day. And subhanAllah, we care. We definitely care. We feel, we've reached out. If you know or you don't know, we have reached out. We've done a lot of humanitarian work in so many places, sometimes without even advertising it. No one even knows. And we've done a lot, subhanAllah. So we actually do care for the ummah. It's not like we don't care. But I really would like to say, something happened. I promise you it was absolutely unintentional. The Prophet ﷺ says his famous statement, لو استقبلت من أمري ما استدبرت لما سقت الهدي ولا جعلتها عمرة, regarding his Hajj. He says, had I known at that time what I know now, I would have done something different. The exact thing I can say today, to say, had I known what I know now about the things or about, who it was that I was, one person, not even anyone else, one person. There was no one. There were 1,000 people. It was a person who perhaps, and a photograph that took place that created the problem. Had I known at the time what it was, I probably wouldn't even have been there. And that's an honest statement. But anyway, Allah Almighty knows best. I owe that to Allah. And He knows the heart. He knows the purity. Sitting at His house today in Makkatul Mukarramah, in front of the Kaaba, seeking Allah's guidance and forgiveness. And pleading to Him, oh Allah, the sins we know we've committed, the sins we don't know we've committed, the mistakes we've made, whatever else, forgive us. Continue to use us to serve the deen, to help mend the broken-hearted, and to help whoever it may be in whatever way, because you have told us khairun nasi anfa'uhum linnas, the best of people are those who are the most beneficial to the rest of the people, and I want to be one of those. أقول قولي هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد.
Okay, if I know now, or if I knew then what I know now, I would do things differently. That's the essence of that apology from Mufti Menk. On that note, let's leave it for this show. We'll be back on Monday, because we do it Monday to Friday, the last week of working week of Ramadan, so the last 5 days of this show. Have a good Jummah, have a good last 10 days of Ramadan, and for those performing the itikaf, may it be that your acts of seclusion elevates you in ways beyond what you ever expected, inshallah, ameen. From the team then, it's Assalamu Alaikum. A reminder that coming up next is Juz 21 of the Holy Quran by Mishari Rashid Al-Fasi. Assalamu Alaikum.